your bed.
Holy mouse! That's the top secret gadget phone.
All right, bro. I think we're live. You still there?
I'm still here.
Got your template. I do have your template loaded up now, so we can go back and forth to different views of footprint. Right now, we're looking at a cum delta of minus 7,600. We're running KISS OrderFlow on top of Trade Devil TDU footprint. What you see on my screen, you're looking at two different versions. You're looking at a version that runs the Bollinger Bands on one chart, and you're looking at another chart that does not have the Bollinger Bands.
That being said, I'm not going to linger on that. But with that being said, Humble Trader, she did a thing. You guys are familiar with Humble Trader. She has her own video.
Hey man, turn your speaker down because that's delayed effect.
No, I don't think that was live.
Oh, that's live, bro. It's a delayed effect.
I see my charts up here.
Holy mouse! That's the top secret gadget phone.
So what are we looking at here? We are looking at the footprint live. Just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at here, You see the Cume Delta, we're looking at 70 minus 7,300 now in the Cume Delta. I kind of like to see the Cume Delta sitting at least, if you're going to make me think about it, give me minus 8 to 9,000. I like 10,000 being my threshold. That way I know I'm going to get some follow through. Anything below that, I will be basically looking at a price action chart that's off camera. It's a 2,000 tick price action chart. So that's how I'm going to be evaluating my charts. And we also have online Mr. Gray, who looks at price action charts with footprint. So right now we're looking at, we're actually looking at a footprint chart with Bollinger Bands.
Currently, right now, I am looking at the Bollinger Bands being met. We're getting
Hold
close.
on 1 second.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. That's the signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Okay, that's a load shot there. So, did you get a load shot on your last chart, Magic? Hello?
I've got a 1450 to the downside. I never got a load shot. I got more of an acceleration to the downside.
Okay.
So right now it looks like we're basically going a bit sideways. We've been in the tunnels. We closed once. We came out of the tunnels. I refer to the bands as tunnels because I do tend to run a 30 deviation as well as a 20 deviation.
What time frame? What time frame are you looking at on this?
We're looking at the chart itself is a 12 range.
Is a 12 range, and this is on the chart with the Bollinger Bands, correct?
Right.
Can you see those Bollinger Bands? Those colors are gold. Can you see your Bollinger Bands with no problem?
I do.
Okay.
But at this point in time, what I'm looking at is what I would consider to be somewhat of bottoming action. We got to close around 10 o'clock inside on the other side of the Bollinger Bands. We came out. We got another one about 10:15. We closed on the other side of the Bollinger Bands. Now we've made a low we're not getting to the Bollinger Bands. So I would just, at least I would consider us to be in a hesitating mode.
Sideways action.
You can definitely draw a box around the high and the lows of these, yeah.
Sideways action.
That's your price action type stuff, but yeah, you could take a box from one end to the other and pick a high and a low on this box. And those of you who love TTM squeezes, it's the first part of the squeeze. The next part you need is for your Bollinger Bands to start coming together. I doubt that happens right now with that momentum in front of it.
Now let me ask you this: at the bottom, did you put the TTM squeeze on the template?
No, I am running strictly keep it simple, stupid when it comes to a footprint chart.
Okay, so
all
you
I
just
want
got
is the MACD for direction and footprint telling me this may be a go or no.
Right. Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, okay. It's like, all right, what are we doing here?
Waiting for action. Waiting for
Waiting for
action.
action. That's the difference in you and I. Again, we tend to tease each other all the time. I'm one of these guys that likes to get on the bus, read the paper, have a cup of coffee, and pretty much let the conductor know that I'm here. And whenever he's ready to, take his break over, we can take off for the next stop. And of course, on the other side, now that's the heat map way. The top step way is when that train is getting ready to just get through that tunnel, leaving the station, he'll jump on the back of it and hold on. And hopefully that train continues in that direction. Pros and cons to both sides of that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all about what makes you comfortable as far as what your
Holy
entry
mouse,
procedures are going
that's
to be.
the top secret gadget phone.
Okay, FX Noob just asked me a question. Please do a video on how to set up the NT8 like yours. I will be doing that. I will be sending out template, but if you look down on below my videos, currently I did put a link below one of my videos where you can download the actual template. Now, are you running KISS OrderFlow or not, or just TDU? TDU. Okay, great. So, yeah, there is a link below. I want to say the last video, or if you go about 2 videos back under my videos, there's a link where you can download the template. And once you purchase KISS, I will give you a template for the current template that I'm running. Now, this particular template that you're looking at, let's go into this setup for a minute, because I want to show you guys something. Today is not really about trading. Today is just I'm just testing the waters just to see how I'm going to run this here. Now, under your TDU, you notice you have several bar markers. Now you'll also notice that it's quite a few bar markers that I do not have checked. There are also quite a few bar markers that I do have checked. And yes, if you want to run the same exact template that I'm running, I would suggest that you get KISS OrderFlow, which is only, I think they're currently charging like $199 or something like that. So
Very reasonable.
very reasonable, right? They're very reasonable. And how I ended up with this was I purchased KISS OrderFlow before I realized the value in Trade Devil's OrderFlow. Now, if you're on a seesaw and you can't make your mind up between Trade Devil and Mike Valtos, it all depends on what you're looking for. But I personally, I own both of them. I own Mike Valtos and I own TDU. And I find I have less problems with TDU, and TDU is offering a hell of a lot more than Mike Valtos. Even his OrderFlow 7.0.
Can I make a suggestion here, Mo?
Yeah, make a suggestion.
I would do exactly as Top Step's actually talking here, but I think I would still not discount Valtos because we kind of consider him the godfather of the footprint information.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, if you really are looking for something that's going to give you total information on how I want to go about using Footprint, he's got the library in his head, and he tends to put out a lot of educational things about Footprint itself. If you're talking about TDU, you're talking about more of automating your ideas that you already have, that you may very well get from a Mike Valtos.
Right.
So you may not want Valtos as far as his program is concerned, but you may very well want to dig deep into his library of educational tools.
Exactly. He has a wealth of information. Valtos has a wealth of information when it comes to dealing with order flow. So that in itself is well worth it. And I don't know if he will sell you like his videos and stuff without purchasing his software. I don't see why he wouldn't. It will be at least worth a try. So if you prefer TDU, not if you can get, but if you can prefer TDU and you want to enhance your learning ability, I would definitely suggest going to Mike Valtos and saying, hey, I would love to purchase your videos, ... take lessons. I don't see why he would turn you down. He probably will charge you a fee, but it is well worth watching his videos, because whatever he's talking about in his videos, trust me, you're going to learn quite a bit.
It actually gives you the information that allows you to use your imagination as far as what you come up with, as opposed to this is the rule, this is a stacked imbalance, and you do what you want to with it. Because TDU will show you a stacked imbalance. Mike Valtos will give you 3 or 4 ways, first of all, to possibly use that.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. TDU definitely has more signals built in to its software, as you see on the chart. As you see on the chart in front of you, you see quite a few buy and sell signals that I'm looking at. And the thing I'm using with the KISS order flow, that's like a little private thing that I basically came up with that TDU doesn't incorporate in their software.
Holy mouse, that's the top secret gadget phone.
Those alerts you hear going off is basically alerts I have inside the TDU. So when I'm looking at, you might see a delta, say like up here, you might see a minus 1257. That's a minus 1257. When that delta shows above or below that particular bar, that means the volume is higher than the last bar, which is very important to me, because what it does is it gives, and for those of you who don't know what the delta is basically the difference between the buyers and sellers.
On that bar time.
On that particular bar time. Now the bar time that I am running is 15R. The bar time you see with the Bollinger Bands is a 12R. Mr. Magic, I call him Magic, that's his nickname, they call him Magic. Magic runs the Footprint with the 12R. I run the Footprint with the 15R. There's a little differences between us, but and as you can see on this particular Footprint right here on the 12R, you can see the last bar we got a minus 1598, and the bar before that was minus 734.
Finishing on the minimum.
And finishing on the min. You don't have the min and max on your template. I'll eventually put that on there later on. Y'all got to bear with us for a minute because we're just testing this out. We're testing out going live, first time going live on YouTube, and we're kind of ironing out a little things here. I hadn't planned on going live this morning, but I said, you know what? We got a little bit.
This is your test run.
Yeah, this is my test run. We got a little bit of action going on today. And what I notice is there are a lot of people on YouTube. You got price action, you got wrinkles, but and let me correct that. There's maybe one or two other people. You got Futures Flow and Futures Analytica. They do live stuff also, but Futures Flow is more live, and I think he has a Discord room where you have to basically pay to get in his Discord room. But I just decided to go live and do a free thing on YouTube because there are a lot of people asking questions out here. And I just figure a lot of these questions, all you have to do is buckle down and start doing your homework. Buckle down and start doing your homework. But this particular chart right here you're looking at before you, this is a 12R. I'm going to make some adjustment to this. I'm going to probably darken a couple of things up. Some of you guys probably can't see these light colors, but I'm going to darken a couple of these things up. And Magic, you also said you have a min and max on yours, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, at this point, that's kind of one of the points I was bringing out to FX Noob. When you get into footprint, a lot of the things that we're highlighting are literally something that you can look inside each bar and see it. So, you know, when he asked me about min and max, we're literally talking about the bid and the ask on up bars and down bars that are reflecting the minimum bids that you may go. In other words, he may see 1,598.
Hold on
as
one
the
second.
bar.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna put the min and the max on there right now, just so they'll know what you're talking about. Yeah, guys, bear with us for a second here. We're just getting started. I don't know how many days out of the week we're going to run this. We're probably going to do it Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, or we'll probably go live whenever there is a high volatility. Let me put it that way.
I don't know. You know, sometimes on these low volatility days, you can really run your mouth. Somebody might actually learn something on a low volatility day, killing time.
You're right. All right, let me where's the summary? Oh, here it is, summary. Okay, delta. You got the delta, volume, and cum delta. So we're going to put the min and the max in the middle of that, right? Min.
Since you're running cum delta, take my cum delta off and then put the min and the max there.
Yeah, that's the way I got it.
Not cum, volume, not cum. Take the volume off because I really won't need volume.
I'll leave it on there just in case somebody else want to see it.
I hate all of them lines.
I'll put it at the bottom. Cum delta, cum volume.
One of the reasons we argue about volume and what's at the bottom of the chart is that volume is something that we treasure, but we only treasure it when it's higher than the last bar. And that's what KISS is actually outlining.
Right.
So if you see a large green or a large red number, we automatically know that that volume is greater than the bar before it.
Exactly.
So a lot of times I will keep my volume off of my summary at the bottom, because here's the problem. Every time footprint gets toward the bottom on TDU, prices go beyond. See, actually this delta and max delta and everything on summary is actually part of the pane one, and prices will go behind it and you have a hard time seeing it. So I like to keep everything at a minimum on footprint.
Now,
And again, as he stated before, to each his own, because whatever makes you comfortable. If you think you need to see more things, then by all means put it on there. I tend to like some simplicity so I can key in on things that I prefer to see. And that's just a preference.
Now, one thing I do want to stress, because I notice people are starting to come into the room. One thing I do want to stress, right now, me and Magic, that's his nickname. We call him Magic. We're just filling things out. We're basically setting up our charts and everything. And I've never been live before. So tomorrow will be a Q&A, question and answer, whatever you want to ask. And you can basically do that today. But tomorrow we will go from the beginning of the setup. We want you guys to know why we are taking trades, what we're looking at, and so forth like that. Whether we're looking at the bid and ask on double tops. I like looking at the Cume Delta with a threshold of 10,000. And as you can see on my chart right now, we have a Cume Delta of 8,900. So yes, I would consider taking a trade, but right now we're just filling things out. We want to see what the crowd is going to be like, or what the viewers are going to be like, and get your questions ready, because tomorrow we will be taking questions and giving answers to anything you want to see, or anything that you're seeing on the chart that you might see on this particular chart, or that you might see on the other chart. I'm gonna call this Magic's chart with the Bollinger Bands and so forth. I will, if some of you guys can't see the colors, I will make a little adjustment, just like make the Bollinger Bands a tad bit darker. And if there anything else that you can't see, let me know now. We will be talking about imbalances. We will be talking about double tops, double bottoms. We're going to talk about it all.
We're about to enter a tunnel, no tunnel condition. With 8,900 to the bottom.
Explain to them what the tunnel, no tunnel condition is.
Well, if you understand the theory behind Bollinger Bands, it's a standard deviation. So at the Bollinger Bands that you see on the screen at this point are set at a deviation of 2 from the mean. So usually what you're looking for is a RIP, R-I-P, reaction in price. We're not saying that it's going to turn around and make a new trend, but we do expect to see some sort of a RIP or reaction in price when we get to your Bollinger Bands. Some are good, some are not. We'll talk about later as we go along what may be and what might not be. But what we're talking about as far as tunnel, no tunnel, we're literally talking about the close around the 10-12 close on the other side of the Bollinger Band, and now we're making a new low, preferably a close that does not get into the Bollinger Band. That's a condition for a possible turnaround, depending on different charts that you may be watching, but that is definitely a condition of setup. What you want to see are closes on the other side of the Bollinger Band. Then if it pulls back, I tend to look for another movement in the direction of the trend. But when I'm not touching the Bollinger Bands, a lot of times it makes me a bit wary. It's not a perfect system. Nothing we do is systematic. We have approaches here, and you have to do your own homework when it comes to finding out what works for you, what works for someone else, because a lot of your trading is going to definitely be hinged on what your personality's like. Are you a snap judgment person, or do you like to sit and read the book and study it over for a minute? All of that is part of your trading. But right now we're getting a new low that's not hitting the bottom Bollinger Band, but yet the other lows have actually closed on the Bollinger Band. So that does make my antenna go up, because if we start seeing large numbers in volume and delta, and you may find yourself in a situation that you can take advantage of. Explain
to them about how we look at the bid and ask on the bottom, the bid on the bottom and the ask on the top, because I think we're seeing, still seeing, as this price is falling, we're still seeing the bid, the lowest one is 58, and how we
Yeah.
compare it to other pivots.
All right. Using the same Bollinger Band structure, when I look at the last bar that went up out of that Bollinger Band, we had a 32 on the bid. The bid is the bottom number on the left-hand side. All numbers on the left-hand side of the bar are the bid. And you look at it diagonally, up to the right, over, up to the right, over. That's how you read these numbers. But with that in mind, you have 32 people that were selling down here the last time we had an up bar out of the tunnels. Now we have 58 people. And if you start comparing the way down, we had 50, 272, 114 on the last bar, and then at the bottom we have 58. We're losing interest on the sell side. That's all that that's saying. That's how you interpret it. Does it mean it's a turnaround? No. Everything is conditional. Right now, when we got the cumulative delta over 7,000 to the downside, be very careful about taking a counter trade. Big flip. 1,300 to the upside and 209 on the downside. We have high volume on both sides and high volume at the bottom number. So all of you counter traders, here's one of these setups for you.
Holy mountains! That's the top secret gadget phone.
Also hitting the lows of the day also.
Also hitting lows of the day.
Cum Delta was starting to go back up there. We're back at minus 6,800 now on the Cum Delta.
I will say Cum Delta is increasing from the set of lows we are breaking at least.
Hitting the lows of the day. Cum Delta currently 6,700. What were we at last time we got down here? Oh, that was the open of the session. Right here, we're minus 5,400. Right here, minus 6,500. And yes, starting tomorrow, we will be going through the charts from A to Z on how we'll be looking at trades and so forth. So some of you guys who want to come in and just see how we're pulling trades with OrderFlow, which a lot of people are confused about. They don't quite know what they want to use or how they want to use it. That's what we'll be doing here.
Channel of ideas, that's all this is.
Exactly.
As I said before, this is about an approach that you would want to make for yourself. This is about how you feel about a trade, how you feel about a counter, how you feel your target should be, how you feel it should be entered. It's just giving you another avenue to basically enhance what you already do. If you don't have a set way or a set approach, stick around. I'm sure you're going to get some ideas at least. Again, we are getting this type of reaction that I kind of expected. You know, at 1,300, a lot of people kind of felt the same way, I guess you could say, because we got high volume here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely having a dogfight down here, whether it be a winner on the sell side or a winner on the buy side.
But the cum delta
Quite
is
clear.
increasing. Last bar was minus 6,300. Now we're looking at a minus 6,800. Hasn't been etched in stone yet on the 15R. But we got a big up delta of the last bar, 2466.
FX Noob, is there any indicator out there that analyzed this footprint on run where it points out surefire setups with we got a red light, green light guy. I'm sorry. FX Noob. That's a question I think everybody's always looking for, that surefire. Give an example. There are some people that will only trade footprint based on extreme numbers. Not necessarily surefire, but it gives you a better idea of where the buyers and where the sellers are. So volume and delta are extremely important to that person. Some people find the setups great when they get 3 bars in a row, one down, one up, one down, and the 2 down bars, you have a delta of 1 and 10, meaning there's no, I'm sorry, not a delta, a bid or ask of 1 and 10, which are very small numbers at the top or at the bottom of anything. That's going to depend on what you study and what you see happens over and over and over. That's also going to depend on your targets, because we have a buddy right now in Houston, I think, who wants to trade for 5 ticks, and this is something that allows him to do that. You know, but there are some others that want to trade the whole swing. It depends on what you're looking for. I'm not here to give you a surefire setup. I'm really here to give you the ideas that may lead you to a surefire setup. I got a partner right here, Top Step, basically trades until he gets to 10,000 on cumulative delta. He wants to see an extreme. He also wants to see 1,000 delta. He wants to see an extreme. That's his way of finding his closer to surefire. He teases me all the time. High probability trades, HPT, all day long. That's his style. So to answer your question as a absolute would be almost impossible. Sorry. Oh, but by the way, when you find that surefire shot, please let me know, because I will trade it for you if you don't mind. You know, if you find something that you go back in time and you're getting a 90% ratio, which is surefire, well, I want to know too. All right? Even if you're making 2 ticks, we can find a way to make money on that one.
Holy mackerel! That's the top secret gadget phone.
Those are alerts you hear going off. I have set. I will be discussing my alerts later on, probably later this week or going into next week, how I have my alerts set and so forth like that. But today is just a testing day. We're just trying to get the feel of doing OrderFlow live on YouTube. Welcome to Top Step Rules OrderFlow Charts. We also have here, we're running 2 charts. We have one chart where we're running the Bollinger Bands, and that's hosted by Mr. William Gray, or I call him Magic is his nickname, and he can explain to you more about running Bollinger Bands with the footprint chart. That's his specialty. I myself, I don't run the Bollinger Bands, as you can see. I am definitely into the cum delta. We both are running the KISS order flow on top of the TDU. So that gives us an idea. You know, when you're pulling off trades, you basically have to have already set in your mind what your bias is. Are you only going to take short trades? Are you only going to take long trades? And as we go along on this channel, you'll see why we only taking short trades, why we only taking long trades. And then there are days where you could probably flip a coin and take one or the other. But a lot of times the market leans more towards one way than the other. So that's, you know, and that's where a lot of people get chopped up. A lot of people get chopped up in the markets because really there's no volatility, but because they believe in what they're using, it's supposed to make money. That question remains to be answered. You just have to, you know, you have to pay attention to the volatility and the follow through, and also pay attention to your time frame. Whereas I'm running 15R on the white chart, this is 12R. You know, so if you're looking at a 15R chart, which is a 15 range chart, and you get a signal up here, how many bars follow through are you getting? Are you getting 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars? I kind of like to see 2 bars or more. I know if I'm getting 2 bars or more, that's a good trade. You know, but if you're getting signals and that bar isn't going anywhere, you're probably at best hope to break even if that trade takes too long, you know. So if you look now, this bar ended at 10:59 and now it's 11:06. You know, if I was sitting in a trade to the long side right about now, I will be getting antsy.
Nervous Nancy.
That's
Gotta
right.
get antsy.
I will be getting antsy. So, you know, it all depends on the individual. Pay attention to your time frame that you are running this footprint on, because what I have set as delta numbers and the cum numbers, what I have set on a 15R might not be applicable on an 8R or a 10R. This right here, Magic has different numbers set on his 12R. He likes to look at other things. So I would almost say the smaller the time frame, the smaller that your number it takes for those numbers to move on the bar. If you follow what I just said.
My extreme may be 700 versus his 1,000.
Exactly. That's definitely something to pay attention to. Now, if you're looking at NASDAQ, that's going to be something totally different. I haven't even begun to venture off into NASDAQ yet, like I am with the E-mini. A lot of people want to do the NASDAQ because it's quick, it's fast. I've always been told a slow roll is a sure roll. So take your time and pay attention to those delta numbers and pay attention to the cum numbers if you decide to look at cum. Now, also on my chart, I also like to look at the commitment of traders high and the commitment of traders low. The commitment of traders high tells you when there are trapped traders in a bar. So if you get a green number inside that commitment of traders high, those are trapped trades. The commitment of traders low, if you get a red number inside the commitment of traders low, those are trapped traders. So that comes up all the time. Let me see if I can point out, see if we can get some trap traders.
There you go at the pullback.
Here's a trap trade at the pullback, at this pivot right here. This is 4 o'clock this morning, but nonetheless, it's still a trap trader. We got minus 100. So you have trap traders at the bottom of this bar, or trap sellers, that is. So that's the purpose of looking at a commitment of trading high and a commitment of trading low. Now, this is just the definition that seemed right to me that I got off of, there was a guy discussing this in the Discord room of Trade Devils Discord room, and it made all the sense to me. So I kind of like keep an eye on that, and that's how he looks at trap traders, and I kind of adjusted and started looking at that the same way. Also, let's discuss something else that has been discussed in the ratio. And the ratio is basically, it's going to show exhaustion or it's going to show defense. This blue number you see right here on the top of this bar is a ratio. This is 36.56. This is exhaustion. Anytime you see a number larger than 30, now this is, in my opinion, this is not etched in stone, but by default, anytime you see a number larger than 30, that's exhaustion. Let me find a defense ratio. Here's a defense ratio right here, 0.60. Anytime you see a number lower than 0.69, that's defense. Okay? So that's how I have my ratio set up. And the only time those numbers pop up is when it's above or below a particular amount. And I will be getting to that at some point during one of the videos, during one of the live broadcasts also, just so you guys know how I set my ratio up. Everybody's looking at ratio. I even saw one guy, he looks at all of the numbers. You know, I totally agree, and I got this from Mike Valtos. There is no value in looking at all of the ratios. You just want to know if that price is exhausted or if they're defending. In my opinion, that's perfect. That's all I need to know. So that's how I'm looking at ratios. Oh, Cube GIF. Yes, I saw that. Perfect. Perfect. Cube GIF said, I placed a solution on how to replace KISS and print deltas in TDU footprint. It's in the comments under one of my videos. Yes, saw that. Loved it, man. Loved it. Loved it. If you do not have KISS, that is one of the solutions. Look at Cube GIF and you will see him talking, or he even gave a solution put into your TDU footprint under one of the formulas. And if I'm not mistaken, it does go under the volume formula. Now, what you see right here, this is a 15R. And to me, this is sideways action. That's why I keep my eye down on the Cume Delta. My personal, now everybody might want to have a different threshold when they're looking at the Cume Delta. You might want to say, okay, I'm going to take trades anytime the Cume Delta reaches a minus 4,000 or plus 4,000. That depends on the individual. I myself personally have noticed I have better success when that Cume Delta, right now it's at minus 7,100. When it gets to minus 10,000, you see the follow-throughs are a lot more apparent.
Do me a favor, would you please top step draw a line from on my charts from 10, 13, 22 lows. Just draw it to the right.
From 10, 13?
Yep.
The lows?
Yes.
Okay, where is the drawing? Where is the drawing?
Oh boy.
Remind me to put a
Mm-hmm.
the lows from 10, 13, 22. I got to change my color on the line. You want me to draw straight across, even crossing through the lows of the current bars?
Yep.
Okay.
Just want everybody to see that that's that tunnel, no tunnel condition I was speaking of. And regardless of which way that price goes, it's definitely telling you that there's something holding it up. The weakness is there. As soon as we made a new low without hitting the tunnels, like I said, nothing is foolproof. I think I was telling FX Nude that. you know, but it's a very good condition to give you an idea of maybe, let's say you're in a short trade. You might want to tighten your stop up when you see something like that. It could be used for something of that nature. If you are a counter trader, then you may start salivating at this point, thinking that, hey, prices are holding up. I think I can get a few ticks out of this. If I was literally going to do this, my ultimate target would be the top tunnel, which would be around 88 and a quarter at this point. So it's always something that's going to be dynamic. Nothing's going to stay in the same place because you're using a dynamic indicator. So right now, this is playing exactly, you know, the type of action that I was expecting. Doesn't always work that way, because sometimes when you get high volume and it breaks, you'll see Top Step jumping all over that, breaking new lows for the day especially. So everybody has a way of using a footprint with another indicator, with another condition, with whatever you already came up with, and it can just, you know, the more you know, the more you know. But this kind of action, I think we all should be kind of wary of, because if you're short, you're either getting out of a portion of your position at least to be careful, and maybe keeping one to see if you get that break to the downside. People that like the long side, you might be wanting to go ahead and be a bottom picker at this point and see what you get with a very small risk at this point. Risk reward would be really great here if you decided you wanted that counter trade.
And a counter trade would be to the upside, in my opinion, because the delta, the cum delta is minus, we're looking at minus 5,900 right now. So a counter trade is always going to be a trade against your bias, so to speak. Still on the inside day, so this is definitely a very low volatility day.
Trade the edges, trade the edges. Buy the top, sell the bottom.
What's that I heard saying? I always think about that.
Bottom pickers and top pickers.
Bottom pickers and top pickers are for cotton pickers.
Uh-huh. Got some good numbers down here again. Got some competing numbers, because what I'm seeing is I got numbers on top of bars, which means you got that selling pressure, but it's just as much coming against you on the bottom of these bars where you're getting high volume with buyers. So this is becoming very congested.
If you're new to the room, we're just filling things out today. Nothing definite. Just trying to iron out a couple of things. I've never done any live videos before on YouTube, so we're just basically filling things out today. And probably tomorrow we will definitely start getting into how we're looking at trades, exactly what we're looking for. And if you're interested in trading order flow, this is definitely the place to be. One thing I did learn it took me a long time to learn, is discipline is key. Discipline is key. There was a guy, he's no longer on YouTube. His name is Raul. And he was one of the most disciplined traders. And the way he traded, if the day was slow, he always said he would throw in a DVD or throw in a movie and sit there and watch a movie until his signals went off. That is a disciplined trader.
Yeah, we're trying to supply the movie.
That is a disciplined trader. But yeah, this right here, trading order flow, is definitely about patience and discipline. You're not going to get trades every day. It took me a long time to understand that. You are not going to get trades every day.
That's the top secret gadget phone.
But when your trades do come, you got to make that move. And we're basically gone sideways here. We turned into a sideways market. And a lot of times I will probably go live right around 9:30 Eastern time. And I will probably stop maybe around 11:30, 12 o'clock. A lot of times after that, nothing is going on up until you get to the last hour of trading. Then you have quite a bit of activity going on there. But that's how I usually look at the markets. Right around 11:30, 12 o'clock, I'm usually done. And I have this is my own saying: if you're losing by 11:30, 12 o'clock Eastern time, it's hard to get back. That's a long, lonely road to get back, especially if you're trying to get back by the end of the day and you're having a bad day. Been there, done that. Have a certain amount of losing trades set in your mind. And when you hit that limit, just walk away. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. But yeah, we're going to go through all of the stripes that you see on my chart. We're going to go through all that. I'm going to tell you about all of the signals that I have set in TDU and how I'm looking at them. But right now, this is a slow, choppy market. If you're trying to pull a trade off now, I feel for you. Not unless you're looking at a lower time frame. Let me stress that. If you're looking at a lower time frame, you might be able to pull something off. But a 15R, right now, what you see on the chart, this is what you call sideways action. And even if I'm not saying anything, my chart will be up on YouTube, at least so you can have an idea of what's going on, what's happening, and so forth like that. A lot of times we might get quiet. It's because we're just sitting here, just chit-chatting. And this is what me and Magic do every morning anyway. So I said, you know what? Why don't we just go live on YouTube, give some people some ideas on what they might want to be looking for, because this is not a system. Let me repeat that. This is an approach. This is not a system. Do we give coaching sessions from Arrowmere? How do you? I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I'm gonna take a.
I was just getting ready to address that.
Arrowmere. Do you still do coaching sessions? I might do coaching sessions. Magic does coaching sessions, I think. And tell you what, if you want a coaching sessions, Magic might want to give you a coaching session, or I might want to give you a coaching session. But I haven't thought about doing any coaching sessions lately.
At this particular time, I am interested, but at this particular time, because we're trying to devote this station to getting everybody a piece of the pie as far as information, education, be able to share some ideas with everybody, I'm not sure that I would actually be prepared to do that at this time, because coaching does take some time. It takes some preparation. I've got 3 students at this point in time, 2 of which are pretty active. And right now, I'm not trying to fill my plate with that, because you guys, when you're really trying to learn something, you're pretty vested and you got a lot of questions, and I would rather be able to address those questions, as quickly as possible without putting you off. So I'm going to have to put you off before I would even start at this point. And I would give you one suggestion. You might want to get a flavor for who you like, who meets your demands, because I'm not a person that will teach a I will teach strategies and approaches, but I will not teach a system per se. And there's a reason for that, and maybe that'll be one of our topics in the future. But I tend to want to know things that are going on around me. Kind of like if you're driving down the street, if you only pay attention to what's in front of you, you're probably going to hit something for not understanding that that person is crossing the street, or this person behind you is changing lanes, or a lot of things that go around you that change within seconds. So I tend to want to be able to have a person be educated as far as knowledge is concerned and be able to put their own systems together. So if anything we can answer on this channel, I'll be glad to go that route if I can, because I swear I'm not the smartest. Never mind, we'll leave that alone. But either way, we'll be glad to share what information we have. And maybe we can sit down one day, Aramir. I will tell you, don't be in a hurry. Everything takes a while, so we'll still be here. So throw all the questions you want, and maybe we can help you from this end.
Right now, QM Delta, I'm looking at minus 7,800. What do you got on your QM Delta on your screen, Magic?
78.49.
You got 78.49 as the current?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Long as we're in the same ballpark, that's cool.
Anybody that came in and wondering on the white chart why that arrow line is there, that arrow line represents the last time, I'm a Bollinger Band guy, the last time prices literally closed on the other side of that Bollinger Band. That represents that particular low.
Yeah, Tom, send us an email. Definitely send an email. Because a lot of times if we're not live online, me and Magic are always on the phone and we're discussing what's going on in the market and talking privately on the telephone just to get an idea of how the day is setting up or turning out. Tom, did I see you in your name looks familiar. Did I see you in Trade Devils chat Discord room? Top step rules at gmail.com. Yeah, one thing I did notice, and I like to go around to different trade rooms just to see, what everybody's doing. I like the price. I like the two-legged pullback that's done. You got Panda Bear out there. You got Moo Moo Trades out there, and who else does some stuff? You got Connor from Futures Analytica out there, And I just like to go around the different trade rooms and see what everybody's doing. Sometimes, I might get, when you're doing live. Let me say this: when you're doing live YouTube, you're gonna get people who don't care for what you're doing, that doesn't like what you're doing. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it get to you. Just just keep stepping. So yeah, I like to go around in different rooms, and one thing, the point I was trying to make was, I see a lot of people asking questions about footprint, and there are no live trading rooms for footprint out there. None. You got Futures Flow, and he's on Discord. You got a lot of after market, give comments after the market, but I want to see if I can run a live futures trading room, just dealing strictly with footprint, and see how it does. Got a lot of selling going on right here. We're minus 9,200 now on the Cume.
Holy mountain! That's the top secret gadget phone.
We went from minus 488 to minus 1640 on that pivot up there. We got minus 344 here, and then we got minus 1640 here. That's a sale, and that's where I would probably take. Let's take a demo here just to see how this sale will work out. But because in my book, that's a sale. And then we got a Delta slingshot here also flashing. Now, if this bar closes down, that would be a good thing, because what that would be just a good confirmation for that minus 1640. Because notice we went from plus 2466, minus 488, and then at the top of that pivot, we went to minus 1640. And right now, the Delta's minus 2300. Now, a lot of time now, it's 11:32, and Magic could tell you, I really don't like taking trades this late. But let's see what happens here.
Magic would probably be fading you or not getting in at all.
Magic likes the long trade. Magic likes the long trade.
Yeah, nice place to take a risk. I finally got a close low beyond that low. Did not get to the tunnels. If I actually get a bar turned up here, it would not be surprising to see a continuation. If I don't get a close up, guess what? Magic won't be in.
Now we get down to 69 and a half. This could go a lot further, but I have my first target. I have one target sitting at 69 and a quarter. And next one is a 61.75. So let's see what happens here. I'm going to take a coffee break while this trade is on. Talk to him, Magic. Tell him what's going on.
He's on prayer. Yeah, we're still fighting down here. We are still fighting. Again, I have a lot of reservations in this particular area. I would love to see a nice break. I think I'm convinced then that, maybe there's something here, but I expected the last time to really make a new low. We didn't get it. Now we've got a close low beyond the last low. A lot of stuff going on. Where's your stop, by the way, bro? Still getting a high volume. There's a lot of folks that's kind of thinking the same way. Are they buyers or are they sellers? Right now, they're buyers based on the Delta number. I would expect, I have a minus 1814. That's supposed to follow up with a down bar. An up bar is not a really good thing to see at this point. When you got 1814 buyers, you would expect to see some sellers, you would expect to see some sort of follow through.
Right, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some follow through to the downside here now. Currently, the max delta sitting at 1. Min delta sitting at 25.59, and we're at minus 15.58 now on the delta.
Right now, I'm starting to print what I kind of deemed as a whip, because I've got 908 to the min delta, but I'm making an up bar.
I see that.
It's a lot of supporting down here. A lot of people
it's a lot of support.
fighting.
Yes. Yes.
We ran on my charts. We run on minus 1700, minus 1800,
And
and all of a sudden we've done an about face with a high volume. Only 300 buyers. Okay, doesn't sound like much, but you got to start somewhere. The point being, again, we got that rip in the same area that we've been getting that rip.
this was yesterday's rip.
This is today's rip. Actually, if you notice, we closed twice on the other side of the Bollingers.
Mm-hmm.
Both times we got a small rip, then we got a little bigger rip. Now we're closing below the Bollinger again, which is the line. But we can't get to the Bollinger Band at all. That is what we call tunnel, pullback, retest. Same as an ABC, 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to call it. I'm just using the Bollinger Bands as a deviant, so to speak. Every time I pull back, I expect to see, as long as we're trending, I expect to see a lower low. As long as I keep getting that, I have no problems. When I get a lower low with no momentum, and by the way, at the bottom, if you notice, you don't see any other histogram, so there's no momentum down here either.
None. Really, there's none. And we're inside day, which I can't stand inside days. I can't stand trading inside days.
Which again, buy the bottom, sell the top kind of a day. That's a different approach altogether, just based on the condition that we're citing as an inside day. So, I mean, again, it's a condition that I'm looking at. Nothing is a guarantee, but if you see certain numbers on footprint that make you want to jump, then at least you have the advantage of saying, okay, this is what I feel because I see this pattern. But now the footprint is literally confirming what I think. And that's more of how you use footprint as an overlay or another indicator more so.
Right. Stop is sitting right at the pivot at 77.5. Even though I would like to see it fall out of bed right here.
I just bet you would. I mean, if you take your little sideways pattern and draw a little trend line, you might have a shot. We're at the top of the trend line now.
See, you're salivating right now because I can't stand sideways markets. I can't stand them. And
as much as you may hear us agree today, you're going to hear more arguments out of the two of us because we are nowhere near the same type of trader.
I can't stand sideways. I usually trade out of a V. I like to see V patterns. This is not a V pattern. This is definitely sideways pattern. What are those bid numbers looking like down there also? It's quite a few sellers down there though. 300, 684, 1234. Yeah, the sellers picked up down there. They just couldn't carry through. I need for them to make a U-turn and carry through.
They shot a load, man. 3,500 the last couple of bars on me.
They did
Minus
shoot a load.
3,500.
They did shoot a load. I have an alert set anytime it's minus 1,000 on an up bar or plus 1,000 on a down bar. You're going to hear the Twilight Zone alert go off. Twilight Zone alert is basically, I call it a load shot.
Tough spot to be in. That's all I can say. If you're a trend trader, you can't go against this, you know, and take a long. If you're a counter trader, that's about the only person I can see being really happy right now, or a person that happened to buy it at the top and just kind of waiting for one more leg down.
I like to see this bar close down because we got 186 up here, but we only got 21 right here on the ask. So
Hopefully this makes enough pullback.
yeah, but now that I'm looking at, notice those asks. You got 235, you got 79, you got 186. I'm praying for a down bar. I'm praying for a down bar.
We have now turned to being on our knees. Well, folks, I did say there was no momentum to the downside. I've got to make a note. There's not much momentum on the upside either. So this is a big tug of war on air.
That's
As
exactly
far
what this
as-
is. This is a tug of war.
If you look back to the left, all the momentum is coming to the downside. Your cumulative delta is coming to the downside. Your MACD is basically below zero downside. Your EMAs are crossing downside. Your higher time frames are basically in the same situation downside. Why do you like an upside trade?
It's going to embarrass me, man. It's going to
No, man,
stop me
I'm
out,
not
man.
trying to embarrass me, man. This is that anomaly for me.
This
you
is
know,
this is.
I'm in no tunnel.
I should have known because I saw some drool coming from the side of your mouth like you were ready to go long.
Oh my gosh! And now I'm actually getting a slingshot.
And actually, this trade right here, this is a trade I really don't like taking because the market is sideways. But Magic loves these sideways trades. He loves them. A lot of times when you see me get in, Magic is sitting to the side. When I see Magic get in, I'm sitting to the side. And now that Magic's talking about going long, this is not good for me at all.
This is almost one of those 90% breakouts. By the way, folks, 90% of breakouts fail. Just my philosophy.
Yeah, we got buyers building. I should get out here just based on the delta alone, but I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it to the stop.
Man, this is so much resistance. I don't know. I don't see really where there's a lot of meat on the bone from the upside at this point, unless you're really trying to scalp.
Yeah, but this had made a new low. So what I should have
Yes.
did was I should have waited for that bar to close. That was the go. Waiting for that bar to close. That was the go. Waiting for that bar to close.
I keep forgetting. Your bar didn't. See, my bar closed
Yeah.
on the 12. My bar actually closed below. Yeah. And I think you might have got a hangman or I'm sorry,
No.
a hammer.
A hammer. Yeah. Yeah, that's running ahead of the crowd. Running ahead of the crowd.
Okay, we're running right back up into a resistance area where you got a lot of volume. Let's face it, there's quite a bit of volume in this area.
Volume or delta?
Volume and delta.
Yeah. Look at the volume in these bars, though, man. The volume in these bars are. Got 14,000, 16,000, 18,000. My volume is like 19,000, 31,000, 23,000. Lot of volume, lot of volume.
I am getting, oh boy, here we go. I'm getting a Chester double top, man. I'm getting a 13 versus 486 or 186.
That's
Forgive
a one.
me,
That's a 186. But the bar is not closed yet. Now, if that bar closes down,
Yeah,
if it closes down, yes, that will be a lower high with 13 versus 186. And we're looking at the ask on that, gentlemen. A lot of times we pay attention to the ask, which is 13 versus 186. So you got 13 buyers up here. And the last time I got up here, it had 186, which is not good for the buyers, which is good for me. But this bar needs to close down. I don't like these kind of trades, man. Keeps you on the edge of your seat. Can't stand them.
All right, folks. Cut down your position then if you're scared. Cut your target if you're scared. I don't like these bands actually starting to squeeze up.
I was going to say, I noticed your bands are starting to squeeze together.
And leave me a whole lot of meat on the bone for a target.
So the band squeezing together, the band squeezing together meaning less volatility. What else would that bring out to your attention?
Less volatility and basically a confirmation of sideways action. I don't know if anybody's familiar with a TTM squeeze, so to speak. This is when these guys start salivating. When they see the Bollinger Band squeezing like this, their expectance is that there's going to be a breakout. They don't care which side, but they expect a breakout after they get this kind of action. So that's when I start really sitting on my hands when I see this type of action on the Bollinger Bands, because usually I'm using a target somewhere on a Bollinger Band, whether it's a 6R chart, a 12R chart, or maybe even a 25R chart. But my whole point is my targets are based on deviations of Bollinger Bands. Right now, we don't have a lot of room. If I were to take a trade, let's say at a close of 73.75, you're telling me already that I only got 10 ticks to work with. I try to get mine out of the middle, and that doesn't leave me much meat on the bone. So I would have to decline just based on the type of condition again. Granted, we may catch up and roll out of here and really start running, which would be exactly what TTM squeeze players would be looking for.
Right.
I basically am saying I want to get in a trade where I see that the risk that I'm taking and the reward I can see is at least 2 to 1, 1.5 to 1. So if I fall short, maybe I'll make a 1-to-1 trade.
I'm sitting up here looking at my Trusty Dusty. The Trusty Dusty is the actual dial. We're up 246. And I made an error of sitting in a short trade. So I'm gonna sit it out and see what happens here. Didn't make an error. I kind of liked the trade at the time, but I'm gonna sit this out and see what happens here. Still got 13 versus 186 on those asks. So that's I got a little chance. Little chance.
What was it? Oh, yeah. That was FX Noob. This is one of these situations where, we may not have the golden trade, but we also are in a situation that, maybe we can recognize that something is not for me or not for you.
Now, one thing I'm going to tell you guys, there's a thing that I always pay attention to when I'm looking to get in a trade, or when Magic is looking to get into a trade. If he's thinking opposite, we usually have problems for the day. Both of us do.
And there is a day that we recognize that happens most often, and that's on an inside day.
And that's on the inside day. Yes.
We will argue all day.
And not even argue, just debate.
It's a debate. No, we go at each other sometime. I mean, it's all in good fun, but
Yeah.
it's also in a learning situation, because you never can stop learning in this game.
Right.
You know, somebody will look at something and you say, I never thought about looking at it like that. So that's why on this channel, hopefully we can just go at approaches, because I don't think anything is etched in stone.
Exactly.
Morgan K, you're a POC bowler, huh? You're a POC player?
Who are you talking about?
Morgan K says a POC down here, so he's looking at some support down here. Not sure what time chart you may be watching.
By the way, looking at the charts, I do have a POC at 74 3/4, and POC from the last bar sitting at 72 3/4. So yes, I'm not. You know what? I look at a lot. I look at a lot of POC formations that they talk about in the Trade Devil Discord room. I'm a fan of POC. I'll use it as a stop. It definitely comes in handy when it comes to placing stops. But as far as getting in, I haven't learned where I want to use my POCs for getting in the markets yet.
I tend to use POCs more bar by bar. I tend to use more for an entry more so than an exit.
So you use yours for entry. I like using mine for stops. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of times it kind of puts me in the risk-reward situation I like to be in.
Right.
Now, if you've got a POC that's at the top of the bar with stopping action on it, you're not going to get within 2 ticks of that. Most times not.
Now I do pay attention to the POC stopping action on TDU. I love it. I love it. I might have to get me down to break even a tick or two. I might have to get out at break even here, man.
Oh, sounds like a dignity trade coming, folks.
might have to get out here with a little dignity.
Sounds like a dignity trade coming.
Yeah, the Valtos POC wave analysis. I haven't looked at his wave analysis on the POC yet. I do have his software. So what I'll do is I will probably go look at his wave analysis and see how he's interpreting that wave analysis, and then incorporate that into the TDU. A lot of times, once Valtos releases his stuff, I expect TDU to follow right back with it. Is this as close as I'm going to get to dignity, man? Now I'm looking at your symbols on the white chart, Magic. You got what? Give me what do you got?
Target 72.
No, not your targets, but at that pivot up there, I see an X. What does that X stand for?
Single print.
And the TP stands for thin print, right?
I shouldn't have that, but yes.
Oh, okay. I got TP standing for thin print. I got FP. What does the FP stand for?
Why is that up there? I think I sent you the wrong template, man. That's not what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Wow.
Don't forget to send it to me later on. Okay. Now there is no difference between Neural Street range and the range that comes with Ninja Trader. But I must say, they do have. You see these green lines and these red lines on the bottom and top of the chart or the bar. Those are the closes, and that's what I like about Neural Street. If you want that, let me know. This is a free version of the Neural Street range. I can email that to you. Send me your email, and I can email that to you. That's what I like. It has the closes. And when you have an idea where that bar closes, that gives you a better idea of planning. It gives you a good idea of where you might want to put your entry in or your exit and so forth like that. Okay, got you, Amir. Matter of fact, I'll just place a link and put it up on Send Space after the video. Tom. Yes, Tom. I don't know why I called you Amir, but Tom, I prefer Tom also. Much easier to pronounce. Then too, Magic, if I get down to break even, do I really want to get out?
Hey man, I already told you where my target was already. So I'm giving you the 72. If you get down there and you don't take your money, that's on you.
Nah, I lived in Chicago. I worked on a trade desk up there in Lynn Waldock for years, man. I lived in Chicago. I was living up on the north side. I'm down here in the Washington D.C. area now. I love Chicago. I love Chicago, Tom. I love it.
Hey Tom, just to give you a little bit, because I'm trying to sit here and write a little history for a little bio for you guys anyway, but your host Top Step comes out of the Chicago trading system trading division at Lynn Waldock. So there's a lot of little experiences he probably can share with you that, just coming from an experience level. I'm sitting up here trying to figure out a bio for him now. I'm just a sidekick.
Is this going Twilight Zone? Twilight Zone alerts gonna go off. Dead bar.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. That's the signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
What that alert is we got a down bar, but we got a plus delta.
That's the top secret gadget phone.
We got a plus delta of 1,110. So what that's telling me is the buyers couldn't do it. Now, at this point, I could get out with a little dignity at break even, plus a couple ticks, and call it. But nah, I'm gonna stay in. I'm gonna see if I can get down here to this target of 69.25.
I actually have an acceleration at 72.25 here to the downside.
Let me look at your chart and see what you got on the 12.
plus
Yeah.
240 with a single print, and then I'd switch over to 508 as an accelerated point.
Right.
You need a follow-through bar.
Right.
But if you're going to get through it, this would probably be the point. And it's going in the direction of everything supposed to. So if you fail here, just kiss that dollar goodbye.
You know what? I'm not going to let it go back up to the stop where it was at. I refuse to take that much. I don't like heat. I can't stand heat. That was too much heat for me. You laughing? I'm serious.
I'd probably get out on a bar turn for you.
Yeah.
All systems have been alerted to your presence, sir.
Okay, we got sellers action. We got selling going on here.
Yeah, this is sweet acceleration. If you get a follow through, you may have a little something going on. Might be the breakout you wait on.
Notice we got on that last bar, we got 13 ask versus 186. That right there lets you know buyers were kind of like, leveling off. Buyers didn't have as much confidence going back up there that go round as they did the first time with 186, and now we're looking at 13.
Holy
So
mouth, that's the top secret gadget.
question is it going to bounce off this low again, or is it going to go through it?
Trapped as well up there. Even from a COT perspective, they got trapped.
And we sit up here, we're looking at minus 2100, and this is taking too long to fall, man.
I already told you, man. Where did I say I could get you?
What did you say?
I told you, I think I said 71.
Is that what you
71
said?
was somewhere in
Yeah.
there at the lowest, because that's wherever you see a Bollinger Band, that's why I'm not in this, because I do like the short side. I do like the numbers, but I don't like the meat on the bone. We're on the inside day. That is part of a bottom. So you're going to make money, but you're going to grind this way, bro.
It's already grinding. I don't like the trade.
That's the whole point.
It's already
Make him
grinding.
grind. Make him beg some more. This for a person that jumps on the back of the bus, this ain't good, because they expect a straight line once they jump on the back of the train or back of the bus. Leaving the station, they want it to just keep going. This back and forth action, this back and fill action, not something that makes a breakout trader comfortable. Be a nice turn to the downside here with all these sellers in the way.
Got minus 1700 on the Delta, minus 9800 on the Cume. We got a max delta of -1, a min delta minus 2278. And we got stopping volume flashing here, which would be good on the close if this bar closes down. Got sellers up here at 72 3/4 on the stopping volume that's flashing. It's only flashing. That stuff flashes and it's not etched in stone until the bar closes.
Stopping volume.
Stopping volume, yes.
What exactly is that, Mr. Top Step? Why is that so important to you?
A lot of volume in the top part of the bar. Man, don't be testing me live, man. What's wrong with you, man?
Nah, man. I'm like a lawyer. I only ask stuff that I know you probably know the answer to. I'm only gonna answer them trick questions when I'm mad at you.
See, now you're gonna definitely make me go back and look up on Trade Devil just to make sure.
A representation of stopping volume, I would say, is all of a sudden stuff is going somewhere in a direction, and all of a sudden, for some unknown reason,
And you got an
The
imbalance.
volume-
And you got imbalance. So it's imbalance in the top part or the bottom part of
It's
the
top
of the
part
bar.
of that bar, and
Right.
you all of a sudden you just hit a wall and you go the other way.
Right.
That's pretty much what stopping volume is, just
Yeah.
like its name. Again, we are only here to make these things aware, so you'll be able to put them into whatever you want to include. Unfinished on the low so far. Ah, more retests, more retests. This is painful. This is almost as bad as yesterday, early. I think we sat for 3 hours and it went,
Nowhere.
looked like Twin Towers, up, down, pretty much.
Tighten it up to commissions. Let's yank these commissions and get up out of here. Let's see if I can just get commissions on this. This is not good.
Where the band, man? Where the band at? There you go. 71 and a quarter. There you go. You're right on the money. We can give you that.
Can I
Hopefully you
have
don't
it?
catch that
Can
same
I
thing
have
like
that? Can you push it down there now?
Man, see, you asking for everything, ain't you? You asking for time. You asking for everything. Sit back, man. Enjoy.
No, I don't enjoy this. Stopping volume flashing again.
Holy mountains! That's the top secret gadget phone.
Hopefully that wasn't your last visit to the Target, man.
My finger's actually on the close button. Notice these buyers are coming in now. I'm gonna close that trade out. Take a hit on that. Not feeling that at all. Not feeling that at all. And your bands are steadily tightening up too. Bounce right off the
Yes,
bottom
sir.
of that band.
But again, if you like the long side, and I stress, if you like the long side, this would be an area to take shots, especially on inside days. Just means, again, it's not a whole lot of what we got. 71, 79. So you got 8 points. You got 8 points on the board if you want to try to get something out of the middle, so to speak.
That's
You only got 9,600 minus in cumulative, man. Why not go ahead and take that long against that overwhelming sell?
I don't think so. That was 8 ticks. Lost 8 ticks on that trade. 2 points. 8 ticks. Those kind of trades I do not like.
And it's kind of loss you can live with.
Now they know I got out. The word is out. Okay, guys, take it on down. Now, let me ask you this, man. If another negative delta comes with higher volume on this next bar, excuse me, that's going to be a short. That's definitely going to be a short because you got minus 1640, then you got a plus 11 plus 1110. If a higher volume with negative delta comes on this bar, it's going to be a short. And it is 1210 is basically dead.
We're doing overtime right now, to be quite honest, just to be able to work out on this channel, and hopefully we will work out the bugs, folks. So.
Yeah. Today we're just getting the feel for what's going on. If you're new to the channel, welcome.
And please, type of things you'd like to hear a conversation about, throw it in the comments.
Exactly. If you have any questions, how to set up your charts or what you might be looking for, do not hesitate in asking. Like I said, I will place a link for the free full range, for the free range bars. They're the same as the Ninja Trader range bars. Like I said, the only difference is you have some lines on the close. Tells you what the bar needs to get up to on the close and what the bar needs to get down to on the red to close down. And that's what I like about that particular. And they, at one time, Neural Street was giving this away for free. I don't think they're giving it away free now. I think you have to pay for it. So I don't see anything wrong with the free version. So this is what they were giving away, years ago. It's been free for years, and all of a sudden they decided to charge for it. So I just need to see where the bar closes as far as on the upside and the downside, and that's what this is. They're struggling here, man. Actually, I probably could have waited to break even. Where did I get out at? Yeah, I probably could have waited to break even. Well, actually, break even was down here 7.
Holy mountains! That's the top secret gadget phone.
Yeah, I could have waited to break even on that. And one thing that we talk about, what me and Magic talk about, is inside bars. What you see before you is a chart, and you can see this is a daily chart. This is a daily chart on the E-mini, and this is an inside bar of yesterday. And usually when you have inside bars, you usually, and what I've noticed around the internet, everybody usually ends up in the red on the inside day because it's a very tight range.
Except Magic.
Except Magic. He is the man. He is the man.
And believe me, some of those days is not because I didn't lose any money, it's because I didn't take a trade.
Right. and that basically also sets pace for me and Matt. Usually on inside days, we do not trade. We sit here, and what we're doing now, we're just watching. And you can see, for perfect examples, the trade I took, I got no follow through on that trade whatsoever. None. On an inside day.
Yes, and I tend to approach an inside day totally different from any days that I may trade, from just trading a pullback, higher lows, make a new high. Because to me, the idea of an inside day is that you travel from one end to the other. So I tend to kind of pick at bottoms on days like this and risk less money for trying to fit in maybe an 8-tick, 10-tick stop, and maybe make 12 to 20 ticks on a trade. So I am all for kind of picking at the bottoms down here just to see if I'm going to get a reaction. But I don't do that on an outside day. You can't expect that. You're expecting new lows to be made or new highs to be made. So the condition of the day a lot of times dictates what type of approach I may take if I'm going to take it. And like I said, to me on an inside day, and this is just my approach, I tend to buy at the bottoms, sell at the tops. That just means one of those times eventually I'm going to get burnt. But hopefully I've pretty much successfully pulled off 2 to 3 good trades. Now I may only trade in the direction of the dominant cumulative, and a lot of times inside days like today is giving you a dominant cumulative. We're at 9,800 to the bad side, or to the sell side, I should say. So for me, if I took that approach, I would only be looking to sell the tops until proven differently. Market gives you a different condition in intraday, then you have to make that adjustment. You have to make the recognition. Or pack it up, go home, play a game of tanks, do whatever it is that you like to do on a pastime. You know, give the day up, because I guarantee you the other 300 days out of the year, you're going to get a shot again. I think it's 220, I'm sorry.
There's always another bus coming along. So if you have a fiend for action, this ain't the place to do it.
Yeah, oh gosh, this is not the type of day you're looking for. Well, I don't know, man. Some people like to get that 5 to 6 ticks, and that's there, you know. Especially with a footprint or price action, you probably can pull those things off day in and day out. But just understand, inside days mean you don't have a lot of symmetry when it comes to the market. It's not like make a new low, pull back. Oh yeah, this is 50% golden zone. You can sell or we can buy. It's not quite as symmetrical, so that's what makes it just a tad bit harder to actually disseminate what you really want to get committed to. So if you're not committed, cut your positions back, shorten your targets. Those type of things may also be something you can do on days like this, because if you really try to do what you do day in and day out, a lot of times you tend to get chopped up. Unless your system, and I use that word very vaguely, but unless your system is designed for inside days.
Right.
I don't think there's a, you know, I don't really think that there's a one bot that is like the money maker. I think people trade 10, 12, 8, 10 bots because one tends to lose and the other one tends to, you know, work from a different approach.
Yeah.
And that's
definitely.
kind of the success with the AI. So, you know, there's a lot of different approaches as far as market is concerned. That's why you're not going to hear me recommend anything. You may hear me say, if you like longs, I like this area. If you like shorts, you might have a shot in this area. And guess what? The other guy on this side of the channel may very much say, I'm a crazy man at that point in time too. So, you know, all depends on what you believe in.
If you're new to the channel, welcome to Top Step Rules. We're just filling a couple things out. This is our first time going live. We will be going live tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern Time on the button.
Let's say 9:15. You might have a word or two at that point, but somewhere in between 9:15 and open.
Right, exactly.
9:30.
But we're just filling things out today, trying to get our charts and everything situated, and we will definitely get busy tomorrow, right around like Magic said, right around 9:15, 9:30. Because a lot of times me and Magic will get on the phone probably 15 minutes to a half hour before the market open and start discussing what our bias is and what we're looking for to happen during the day. So yeah, right around 9 o'clock, 9:15. I haven't made my mind up yet what time, so be somewhere in that area. QM Delta is minus 94.41. Something telling me, man, it's going to take off to the downside today. It's in the middle of a pause right now, but it's going to make some new lows today.
And the prediction is in, folks.
Remind me to change that load shot. Make that twilight zone a little shorter, man.
Number or wave?
The wave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's too long. Let's get ready to go off again, by the way.
Yeah, I got 935 to the upside on the bottom band, dead bar. A minus 935, so I can see this closing for you. Again, where is it going to go? It doesn't have very far to go. One thing about bands, when you see them closing and then all of a sudden they go sideways, that is more or less another late confirmation that is exactly what you're in. And a lot of times you can steal a few ticks off the top and the bottom tonight because you really do expect to lift up there.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. That's the signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
What were you saying, man? I didn't hear a word you said. The wave took over your voice.
Well, I was mentioning that the bands are now going more and more so sideways, and a lot of time that denotes that's a very late signal that you're confirming, yeah, you're in sideways. But what it does a lot of times is really give you a good support resistance area that you can kind of peck off, a few ticks here and there, just hitting the band. You probably are looking for some sort of return back into the middle at this point. And again, like I said, until proven differently, but that's a good scalp approach.
Which is, that's exactly where it is right now, in the middle of the bands.
Right. So really what you're looking at more so is get to the top band, let me sell and see if I can scalp, get to the bottom. And after, of course, your approach to how you want to do it, whether it's be below the last up bar, when the last bar closes and give me, the stop order. It doesn't matter. The whole point is you're going at a condition, and the condition gives you certain points of entry exits on a scalping situation. Take it for what it's worth.
And
So
notice
you're not. Go ahead.
Notice up here on my chart, I made that move on minus 1640. Then we got plus 1110, and then we got another dead bar. The sellers couldn't carry this bar down, so now we're looking at minus 1055 with an up bar. That's definitely sideways action to me.
Absorption at the top, absorption at the bottom.
Yeah, definitely sideways action to me. You were going to say something before I Right
No,
when I started
no,
talking.
no. I'm just looking at, right now, I'm just looking at bands being kind of a magnet for one way or the other.
Yeah.
And that would create almost like a false breakout again if you were to actually get a turn there. Kind of like what happened at the bottom. We'll see. And a lot of what we're trying to look at when we're looking at just the footprint is everybody seems to understand the double bottom, triple bottom, quadruple bottoms, but sometimes when you got a hunch, all you need is one little thing to kind of push you over the edge. And maybe an order flow number is something that you may be interested in. Something that has, that tells you, you know what, the sellers have really pooped out or the buyers have really pooped out. That's really all your footprint is about. It's another indicator. It's how you use that indicator. That'll be a very good topic for me to talk about one day. Dyslexia. I think that's why I trade so differently.
Okay, guys, we're basically, I got enough info. Tomorrow, we will kick in tomorrow. This is the end of this testing phase. We will be in gear tomorrow. So have your questions ready. You got any questions tomorrow? And hope to see you soon. That's it. Bye-bye.